pretty clock. M is for milkweed. Marianne Boulevard was searching for a plant whose name started with the letter C. She was on the Santa Nature Walk. Her friend Liz, Amy, and Ellie followed the feet crunching on the gravel path. They were playing the plant alphabet game. Cornflower! Liz cried out. She pointed at a purple bloom swaying in the breeze. Marianne turned to face Liz, also evil at the nature. Marianne said, "That's its scientific name." "No fair," said Ellie with a frown. Marianne remembered all the scientific names. Marianne smiled. She did enjoy flexing her knowledge. Sometimes she remembered the laugh from when they had helped her create this nature walk. It hadn't always looked this nice. This part of the park had been overgrown and unused. Once it was almost replaced by a shopping center. Then Marianne and the girls found milkweed in the park. They learned it was an important plant for pollinators. So they asked Mayor Gomez and the town council to build the storage somewhere else. And they listened. Marianne, Lisa, and Ellie had made a list of all the plants that grow in the park. Mayor Gomez had educational signs made for each kind. They now dotted the path of the nature walk. "Look!" cried Marianne. The path led them past the big path of milkweed. The flowers were in full bloom. Bees were buzzing all around. Marianne even spotted a couple of butterflies. Amy breathed in. "I can smell from here," she said with a smile. Marianne sniffed. A sweet, spicy honey scent filled the air. At the same time, she was scanning the area for the plant. "Daffodil, Susanna," she called out. "And F for fawn," she said, pointing to some plants growing in the shade of a tree. They sighed in frustration. When the girls finished the nature walk, they were stuck onto the letter J, but they were back where they started, and it was time to go home. Amy's and Liz bikes were parked in the bike rack. Marian and Ellie were getting picked up by Marian's mom. While the girls waited, they checked out the parking floorboard. A flyer decorated with butterflies caught Marian's eye. Oh, Marianne said, Gabby and I went to the Ladybug release last year. It was just so fun. Wow, for me, it was a ladybug landed on Gabby's head, and she ran in circles yelling, Get it off! Marianne did not get her sister. Why was she so afraid of a tiny bug, smaller than her fingernail? Unlike Gabby, Marianne was used to all kinds of wildlife. Thanks to the Criteria Club. That was the Animal Rescue Center Marianne and her friends had started. The girls had taken care of dogs and cats and goldfish, but also a turtle, a pig, and chickens. Once they even helped the boy find his lost chinchilla. Maybe Gabby would like a butterfly release better than a ladybug one. Amy suggested less of a crowd creature, said Lisa. More of a floatery flyer, Ellie added. Maybe, Marian said as her mom drove up, but she wasn't so sure. Mean to be. The next morning, Marianne got settled at her desk in Mrs. Sine's second grade classroom. It was Monday. That meant they had science right before lunch. Today, we will learn about monarch butterflies. Mrs. Sina told the class, but Marianne immediately perked up. Monarch butterfly life cycle. Mrs. Shina held up a diagram. It showed how the butterfly egg changed into a larva or a caterpillar. Then the caterpillar wrapped itself up and became a pupa. When it came out, it was a butterfly. Like E. Then the other two female will not lay more eggs, said Mrs. Chanel, and the circus starts again. She told the class, They could all work together on their classwork. They read a short handout about monarchs. Then they wrote down one factor for each stage of a monarch's life cycle. Monarch. Read out a fact and eggs. A monarch egg is no larger than the tip of a pencil. She held out her pencil. Wow, that's tiny. Liz underlined the sentence about lover. A monarch lover is only milkweed leaves. She read. That's why milkweed is such an important plant. No milkweed, no monarch. Ellie found a fact about a pooper. The shell of a pooper starts off green with shiny golden dots. Then it changes to white. And then it becomes see-through. Amy found the last fact about adult monarchs. The butterfly comes out of the pupa in its adult size, said Amy. It drinks nectar from flowers like clover and milkweed. More cheers for milkweed, said Maria. Before lunch, Mrs. Sheena passed out copies of a flyer. Marianne did a double take. It was the same flyer the girls had seen in the park. The butterfly release. My friend is organizing this event, Mrs. Sheena said. She's looking for volunteers, so if anyone is interested, please let me know. Then the lunch bell rang. Most students went to get their lunch boxes and line up at the door. But Marianne went right up to the Mrs. Sheena's desk. She had thought about the butterfly release all last night, and it seemed like fate that Mrs. Sheena had handed out flyers in class. She was meant to volunteer for this. I'd like to help out, Marianne said to her teacher. Great, Mrs. Sheena replied. My friend Mr. Campbell is an educator at the Arboretum. She would love your help. Arboretum, 식물원. Marianne stood back to the ladybug release at the Arboretum. The nice lady who was running the event had gently removed the ladybug from Gabby's head. That is after Gabby had started screaming. Was Mr. Campbell at the Ladybug Release last year? Marianne asked. Mrs. Sheena nodded. Yes, did you meet her? She was probably dressed as a ladybug. Marianne smiled. Yes, she remembered Mrs. Campbell's ladybug print dress and matching hat. She seemed really fun. I'll get all the details for you, Mrs. Sheena told Marianne. Miss Campbell will be so grateful for your help, and so will the butterflies. Marianne beamed and hurried to get in line for lunch. Save the butterflies. In the cafeteria, Marianne and her friends sat down at the table near the windows. Liz hurried off to the hot lunch line. Veggie fried rice today. Yes, she said excitedly. Marianne laughed. Liz was a vegan the days when she could eat the school lunch was special. Summer, were you talking to Mrs. Schneider about? So, what were you talking to Mrs. Schneider about? Ellie asked Marianne. Marianne was still holding the flyer. The butterfly delays, Marianne replied. I'm going to be a volunteer. Amy studied the flyer more closely. What is a butterfly release anyway? She asked. The people at the auditorium raised the monarchs from eggs. Then the monarchs are released into the wild every summer. It helps boost their population. Marianne explained. Ellie finished chewing a bite of her sandwich. What do the volunteers do? Ellie asked. Marianne frowned. I don't know yet. She replied, want to volunteer with me? We'll find out. Ellie looked at the date. She shook her head. That night, I'm going to see a musical with Nene Gloria. I wish I could volunteer, said Amy. But that week I'm going to see my dad and stepmom and Chloe was Amy's stepsister. They lived in Orange Blossom, the next town over. Lisa sat down with her lunch tray. How about you, Lisa? Marianne asked. Want to volunteer with me? She showed Lisa the flyer, but Lisa couldn't make it either. Sorry, she said. Camping trip. Marianne frowned. She hadn't thought she'd be volunteering alone. Hey, what about Gabby? Lisa suggested. Marianne thought for a moment. What was the chance her But Phoebe's sister would want to do it. There was only one way to find out. Too much about talk. That night, Marian walked into the kitchen after finishing her homework. Her dad was making pasta and her favorite tomato sauce. It was sweet and tiny bit spicy. Marian peeked inside the pot. Her dad gave it a stir. Almost ready, he said. How about you and Gabby at the table? Gabby went around and put a napkin at its place. Marian followed with the forks. Gabby put out the glasses. Marian filled the water pitcher. Then Marian's mom came in from their home office. Marian's mom came in from their home office. Mom, that smells so good, she exclaimed. She helped serve the pasta. Pasta! Soon all four of them were sitting down to dinner. 저녁 먹으려고. Marian passed around the grated cheese. So, how was everyone's day? Mrs. Ballard asked. Gabby described the craft she'd made in the kindergarten class. We started a new unit in science, Marian told them. Did you know that monarch butterfly flies south? Butterflies. Did you know that monarch butterflies fly south for the winter? Some of them travel more than 2,000 miles. Ooh, said Gabby. They must be tired when they got there. Marian went on to tell them about the butterfly release. Mrs. Sheena said they need volunteers. She said I told her I'd help. Mrs. Sheena had given Marian more details at the end of the day. All the volunteers would need to come for training. They would learn what to do the day of the event. Training is this Saturday, Marian said, and then the butterfly release is the week after. Marian parents nodded at each other. Sounds great, said her mom. I'm happy to drive you, said her dad. Thanks, said Marian with a smile. Then she turned to Gabby. Doesn't it sound like fun? Asked Gabby. Do you want to volunteer too? Do you want volunteer too? To help the butterflies? But Gabby cringed and leaned back in her chair. Butterflies. Ooh, no way. Marie sighed. Oh, come on, Gabby, she said. They are colorful and gentle. They don't sting. They don't sting. How can you be afraid of butterflies? Gabby took a big bite of pasta. She couldn't say anything, so she just shook her head. She couldn't say anything, so she just shook her head and closed her eyes. But butterflies are small, Marianne went on. Think about how huge you look to them. Gabby's face was starting to turn red. They are way more afraid of you. They are way more afraid of you than you are of them. Marianne tried to convince her. You should volunteer. You will see. It'll be fun. Gabby pushed her back a chair. She jumped up. No, 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 she shouted. I don't want to be near butterflies. With that, she ran away from the table and up the stairs. Marianne started to go after her. Gabby, wait! But her mom stopped her. It's okay, Marianne. Let's hobby for a bit. I think you hit a nerve. I'll say, Marianne agreed and sat back down. Why couldn't her sister just relax when it came to birds? Couldn't her sister just relax when it came to birds? Victoria, Santa Vista, Victoria. A place for trees. For the rest of the week, Marianne tried out to talk about butterflies around Gabby. She wished she could change Gabby's mind, but she felt like she would just make it worse. On Saturday, Marianne's dad drove her to the auditorium. Did you know what about that auditorium? Means a place for trees in Latin. Marianne said to her dad. Marianne loved the auditorium. It was a home to so many different trees. It was a home to so many different trees and plants. Many of the trees were labeled. Little signs at the bases listed the type of trees and the years they were planted. Mrs. Sheena said to meet Miss Campbell on the west lawn. Marianne said she had printed out a map. They drove past a large greenhouse. The map showed it as the reporting shed. They drove by a field of orange and yellow lilies. The lily garden, said Marian. They passed rows of prickly hollies shaped like Christmas trees. Those must be the holy beds. So up ahead is the west lawn. Sure enough, they came to an open grassy area. Marian saw a check-in table with a sign that said volunteers. A tall woman stood behind the table. She was dressed in a butterfly print dress, a butterfly headband, and held back her long silver hair. Marian recognized Miss Campbell right away. Volunteer, butterfly headband. Mr. Bellardo parked the car. Then Marian walked toward him too. Mr. Ballard parked the car. Then Marian walked toward him to the check-in table. Miss Campbell greeted them warmly and asked Marian's dad to fill out some forms. She reminded him when pickup was. Then he drove off with a wave. Well, Marian, said Miss Campbell, I was just so excited when Ruth told me you wanted to volunteer. Ruth? Thought Marian. Oh, Mrs. Shino's first name is Ruth. It was funny to hear someone call her that. In fact, Ruth said you are a star in the classroom. Miss Campbell went on. Marian beamed. She loved the school and she had to admit that it felt pretty great to be called a star. Miss Campbell showed Marian around. She introduced her to the other volunteers. Many were older kids, but a few were around Marian's age. Four of the volunteers were making dioramas. I'll use them in my presentation on the day of the butterfly release. Miss Campbell explained to Marian. Each one will show a different stage of the monarch's life cycle. Egg, larva, pupa, and butterfly. Some of the volunteers were fixing holes in a dome of white netting. The butterflies will be in here before we release them, Miss Campbell said. A few people were making paper chain garlands. We'll use these as decorations on the big day, Miss Campbell said. Marianne looked around. All the volunteers had something to do except her. What can I help with? Marianne asked. Miss Campbell smiled. I have one very important job left, she said. Marianne in charge. Miss Campbell led Marianne to a table near the diorama markers. On the table, there were boxes of markers and crayons. There was a pile of regular glue and glitter glue tubes, and there was a package of extra large paper in a variety of rainbow colors. Under the table, there was a box with ribbons, tissue paper, and cardboard. Marianne's eye lit up. Is this a craft table? She asked excitedly. Miss Campbell nodded. Something for event participants to make and take home to remember the day, she said with a smile. What do you think? I think it's a great idea, Marianne replied. What kind of a craft will it be? Miss Campbell pointed out some project ideas on the table. One showed how to make butterfly wings to wear like a backpack. Another showed a butterfly headband project. Like one you are wearing, Marianne said. She pointed at Miss Campbell's hair. This you make it? Miss Campbell laughed. Yes, thought it could be good project. I thought it could be a good project. I thought some plan headband to use. She pointed to the box under the table, but you decide. You are in charge. Wow, Marianne thought, just her in charge of the whole craft table. She felt so important. Miss Campbell had an idea. Whatever craft you choose, why don't you test it out first? That way, we can make sure it's fun and easy, even for younger kids. Marianne agreed. I'll get started right away. decided to try making a butterfly headband like Miss Campbell's. She traced a butterfly shape onto an orange piece of paper. She carefully cut it out. Then she picked out a black marker. She added makings to the orange wings. Now it sort of looked like a knock butterfly. Finally, she glued the butterfly to a plain headband. Marian tried on the headband and looked in the headband mirror on the table. The headband easy to make, and it was definitely fun. It didn't look exactly like a monocle, but it was only her first try. Now she just needed to test out the butterfly wing project, and the craft table would be ready to go. A butterfly joke. On the way home, Marian's dad admired her headband. Thanks, said Marian, but I can't figure out why it doesn't look exactly like Monarch, she admitted. And I want to make sure this craft turned out perfect. I think we have some nature books at home, said her dad. Maybe you could take a look and see if you can find a photo of a monarch. Good idea, said Marie excitedly. At home, she scanned the books on the bookshelf. Oh, she suddenly exclaimed. She pulled out a bag how to cover the coldest butterflies of the world. Inside were beautiful full-color borders of maybe every type of butterfly in the world. That's why it's so heavy, Marian thought. Marian found a monarch butterfly photo. She held her headband up next to it. She knew what to do. Maria was working so hard that she didn't hear the doorbell. She jumped up a little when Ellie appeared at her side. What are you doing? Ellie asked Marian. Marian was sitting at the dining room table. She was cutting up an orange piece of paper in front of her. The big butterfly bag was opened to the monarch page. How? Marian exclaimed. I'm making a butterfly headband. She explained to Ellie how she was going to be in charge of the craft table at the butterfly release. Want to make one? Marian asked. Ellie eyes lit up. Sure, she replied. Ellie dropped into the seat next to Marian. Marian handed her orange paper and a pair of scissors. They both cut out their butterflies. Then Marian passed Ellie a marker. She showed Ellie the monarch border. black marking look like this? Marian said. She drew stripes and long looping lines just as they looked in the photo. And see those white dots? Marian said. She opened the tube of white paint she had found in the art drawer. Marian dabbed them on the wings with a paintbrush. Tap, tap, tap. Ellie did everything just as Marian did. Paintbrush. Then Gabby strolled in front of the kitchen. Can I make one? She asked. Sure, Maria replied. But I thought you didn't like butterflies. She said, her eyes narrowed. I don't like real ones, said Gabby. I like paper ones. Maria smiled. Here, she said. I'll show you how to make one. Marian passed Gabby an orange piece of paper, but Gabby reached for an aqua one. Don't you want to make a monarch butterfly? Marian asked her. Gabby shook her head. No, thanks, she said. When it was time to add making, Gabby used red and orange and green markers. It was a beautiful rainbow creation. It definitely didn't look like a monarch. Marian decided not to say anything. She was just glad her sister had decided to join them. All three of them glued their butterflies onto headbands. Then they tried them on. You will look great, Ellie told Gabby. You may not have like the ladybug on your head, but just look at the giant butterfly on your head, Marian had. Oh, through the left hand. Marian was glad that Gabby could at least joke about butterflies now. The big day. Oh, big mom. The Marian prepared for the butterfly lilies. She asked her mom to make color copies of the monarch photos so she could scatter them around the craft table. She gathered up all the black markers on the house. She even got an art store in town to donate extra orange paper. She even got the art store in the town to donate extra orange paper. She asked her mom to make color copies of the monarch photos so she could scatter them around the craft table. She gathered up all the table markers in the house. She even got the art store in town to donate extra orange paper. Marian also practiced the other craft, the backpack butterfly wings. They turned out great, but she knew she would need more cardboard for the project. She took some from the recycling bin in the garage. On the birthday, Maria was excited. Wow, mostly excited, but also a little nervous. Was she ready? Would the visitors like the craft table? Maureen asked her mom to drop her off at the auditorium early. She needed time for last minute preparations. Preparations! Once there, she organized the markers, tidied the paper, and unpacked all the extras she'd bought from home. She'd brought from home. Correct. Headband. Then she put on the butterfly headband and the wings she had made. She thought they'd come in handy to show as examples. Finally, visitors started to arrive. Here we go, thought Maria. Welcome to the butterfly delays, Miss Campbell called out. Everyone gathered around. Monarch butterflies are beautiful and amazing, she began. Maria's ears perked up as Miss Campbell mentioned some monarch fact Maria already knew and used dioramas to show the life cycle of a monarch. But monarch are just one kind of pollinator, Miss Campbell went on. And most of the world's flowering plants need a pollinator, otherwise they can't reproduce. Marian could not imagine a world without flowering plants. We will have our butterfly release in half an hour, Miss Campbell said. In the meantime, feel free to look around. We've set up a games station, a meat butterfly station, and an art and craft station. What was Marian's cue? She took her spot at the craft table. She was ready for the crafters. But would they come? Within minutes, Marian's table was crowded with kids. Hello, she said cheerily. She explained the two projects ahead of worries and got everyone started. I'm here if you need help, she added. All around her kids were reaching for art supplies. Marianne turned one way to pass the scissors. She turned the other way to open the glue. She reached under the table for ribbon to make wings stripes. It was hard to keep track of everything. Before Marianne knew it, one girl was gluing a purple butterfly onto a headband. Oh no, it didn't look like a monarch. And the boy was trying on blue polka dot wings. That definitely didn't look like a monarch. Then some glue spilled. A small child was crying that ripped his butterfly. Plus, everyone was using all kinds of colors and crazy patterns. Marianne didn't know what to do. Then Marianne felt a tap on her shoulder. She turned around. Ellie! Marianne cried. You came. Ellie smiled and nodded. The music concert was postponed. She told Marianne, so Nana Gloria brought me here and I brought someone with me. Ellie stepped to one side. Someone shorter was just standing right behind her. It was Gabby. Can we help? Gabby asked. Surprise guest! Marianne was so relieved to see them. Yes, thank you. I could usually help, Marianne told them. She pulled Ellie to the side. They are not following the directions, she whispered. These don't look like monarch butterflies. Ellie looked around the craft table. Then she too looked back at Marianne, confused. I think they look great, Alice said. Marianne opened her mouth to object, but just at the moment a bumblebee buzzed among all the girls. It buzzed up against the sunflower on Gabby's t-shirt. Yippee! Gabby shrieked. She closed her eyes. She clenched her fist down by her side. Get it away, please! Get it away, please! Marianne sprang into action. Gabby is okay, she said. Stay calm. Marianne gently shooed the bumblebee away. Soon it was buzzing around a nearby camellia bush. Gabby opened her eyes. She took a deep breath. Whoa, Marianne said, you didn't run around screaming or anything. Not like when the little bug was on your head. Well, the bee wasn't on my head, Gabby replied, but that was still kind of scary. Suddenly, Marianne had a flashback. Why hadn't she thought of this before? You know, Gabby, Marianne said, I was kind of afraid of some frogs at the Curtier Club once. Gabby looked surprised. Really? She asked. Ellie nodded. I remember that. She turned to Gabby.